Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Before the world gets its hands on you, you got to get your mind right. Every morning, look yourself in the mirror and speak life into your day. Say these 5 lines and mean it like your future depends on it. Because it does. Every morning is a blank page, a fresh start, a new opportunity to shape your life the way you want it. Yet, so many people begin their day in reaction mode. The alarm goes off and instantly it's a rush. Grab the phone, check notifications, scroll through social media, reply to texts, read emails, all before even stepping out of bed. That right there sets the tone. And the tone is chaos. If you haven't even gotten a grip on your own thoughts yet, but the world's already in your face, pulling your attention in 10 different directions. Now let me ask you something. How can you lead your life if you start every day by following the noise? If you want to rise, if you want to win, if you want to walk with purpose, you can't begin your morning by letting the world dictate your mood, your energy, your focus. You've got to start your day with intention. That means taking a pause. That means checking in with you before checking in with everybody else. That means you open your eyes and the first thing you do is speak truth to yourself, power into yourself, purpose into your soul. Intention is everything. It separates a day you own from a day that owns you. When you wake up with intention, you decide how your day's gonna go, no matter what happens. You don't need the sun to be shining. You don't need the traffic to be clear. You don't need people to be kind to you. You've already made your decision. You've already spoken it. You've already locked it in. Today, I move forward. Today, I lead with gratitude. Today, I bring my best. That's intention. That's power. People underestimate how important those first 5 minutes are. Your mind is most vulnerable when you wake up. It's open, it's listening. So what you feed it in those moments will shape how you show up for the rest of the day. If the first thing you feed it is stress, distraction, comparison, don't be surprised when your day feels off-center. But if the first thing you feed it is clarity, peace, direction, then you've already won the battle before it begins. Starting your day with intention doesn't mean you won't face problems. It doesn't mean the day will be smooth. It just means you'll be ready because you took time to center yourself. You reminded yourself of your mission. You grounded yourself in something solid instead of letting your emotions and circumstances drive you. You can walk into challenges with your head up. You can handle people's negativity without letting it stick. You can stay focused even when life throws distractions your way. It's not about being perfect. It's about being prepared. And preparation starts with intention. It starts with deciding before your feet hit the floor that you're going to lead your day instead of letting it lead you. You're going to choose your attitude, your energy, your mindset. You're going to make room for your own voice before you let the world's noise flood in. That's how leaders live. That's how warriors move. That's how winners begin their day. They don't leave it to chance. They don't hope for the best. They set the tone. They command their space. They speak into the silence and fill it with direction. Every single morning, without fail, words carry weight. The things you say to yourself have more power than anything anyone else could say to you. Every single day you're having a conversation with yourself, whether you realize it or not. The real question is, what are you saying? Because that inner dialogue, that little voice in your head, it's either building you up or breaking you down. And too many people walk around letting their inner voice tear them apart. They replay their mistakes. They rehearse their fears. They speak failure over themselves before they even try. That's not how champions think. That's not how purpose-driven people operate. If you want to elevate your life, you've got to start by changing the conversation you're having with yourself. Speaking life into yourself is not some fluffy, feel-good activity. It's survival, it's fuel, it's strategy. You've got to hype yourself up the way a coach talks to a team in the locker room before a big game. You've got to remind yourself who you are. You've got to remind yourself what you're capable of. Because let's be real, this world will try to make you forget. Life will throw punches. People will doubt you. Circumstances will get heavy. And if you're not speaking power into yourself, you'll start believing everything around you that's trying to say you're not enough. That's why every morning before you do anything else, you need to speak belief into yourself. Out loud, with your chest, like you mean it. You say, I've got something valuable to offer. You say, I'm not backing down today. You say, there's something great in me, and I'm not going to let it stay buried. This isn't pretending everything's perfect. This isn't about ignoring your problems. This is about setting the tone. You're telling your mind where to go instead of letting it wander into worry. You're directing your focus, your emotions, your energy. That's power. You can't wait for other people to do this for you. Don't wait for applause. Don't wait for somebody to validate you. Don't wait for someone to come along and tell you you're good enough. Do it yourself. Every single day. The words you speak to yourself in the morning are like seeds. Plant them deep. Water them with repetition. And watch how your mindset grows. Watch how your confidence grows. Watch how your discipline strengthens. It all starts with your mouth. Because what you speak is what you start to believe. And what you believe is what you start to live. This is especially important when life hits hard. When you feel discouraged, when you've been knocked down. That's when you double down on your self-talk. That's when you stand in front of the mirror and speak like you're your own lifeline. Because sometimes you are. Sometimes the only voice fighting for you is your own. So make it loud, make it bold, make it full of faith. You don't whisper greatness, you declare it. You don't tiptoe into your purpose. You step into it like you belong there, because you do. And let's be real, some days you won't feel it. Some days you'll wake up tired, stressed, doubting everything. But that's the moment where speaking life becomes even more crucial. You don't wait to feel motivated. You speak the words first and the feeling follows. You speak discipline, you speak strength, you speak clarity. You do it until it becomes a habit, until it becomes part of your identity, until the voice in your head starts sounding like your best friend, not your worst enemy. What's behind you is done, what's ahead is yours. That truth right there is one of the most powerful mindset shifts you can ever make. Because too many people are living in reverse. Their bodies are in today, but their minds are stuck in yesterday. Trapped in past mistakes, old wounds, missed chances, what they should have said, what they could have done. And the more you rehearse the past, the more it steals from your present. You can't reach for what's next if your hands are still holding on to what's gone. Letting go of the past is not about denying what happened. It's not about pretending it didn't hurt or that it didn't matter. It's about understanding that you cannot change it. No matter how long you think about it, cry over it, or analyze it, yesterday remains untouched. The only thing you can touch is today. That's the power you have. That's the door you can still walk through. Regret, guilt, shame, they're all heavy. They weigh you down. And you were never meant to carry them forever. You were meant to learn, grow, and move. There are people who have amazing potential, incredible ideas, world-changing gifts, but they've let a past decision define them. They've let a failure become their identity. They wake up each day not seeing opportunity, but replaying a moment where they fell short. And what that does is lock them in a cycle of hesitation, a cycle of doubt, a cycle of small living. Because deep down, they're scared to try again. They think if it didn't work before, it won't work now. But the truth is, the past does not decide the future. Your choices today do. Your attitude today does. Your courage today does. You've got to make peace with your past. Look at it for what it was, a chapter, not the whole story. It taught you something. It showed you what you needed to see, but it's not where you live anymore. You can't pitch a tent in your old pain and expect to feel free. You can't keep dragging dead weight and expect to move fast. Some things you've just got to release. Let them go, not for them, for you, for your peace, for your growth, for the new things that can't come in while your life is filled with yesterday's clutter. When you truly embrace what's ahead, something shifts. You stop needing closure for everything. You stop waiting for apologies that may never come. You stop trying to make sense of why it happened and start focusing on what you're going to do with what you've got now. You reclaim your power, because that's what the future needs from you, not your perfect past, but your present effort. Your renewed belief, your willingness to show up again, wiser and stronger than before. The most dangerous thing you can do is underestimate what's ahead just because of what's behind. Just because you struggled before doesn't mean you'll struggle forever. Just because someone hurt you before doesn't mean love is off the table. Just because you failed once doesn't mean success isn't waiting. Your future is not a copy-paste version of your past. It's a blank canvas. But if you keep painting with old colors, you'll never see the new picture. Every sunrise is proof that life keeps moving, and you've got to move with it. You don't get stuck unless you choose to stand still. You don't get stuck unless you keep reliving moments that were meant to teach you, not trap you. There's so much ahead of you that you haven't even seen yet. So much potential you haven't even touched, but you'll never reach it if your eyes are in the rearview mirror. The windshield is bigger than the mirror for a reason. You were made to look forward. Progress beats perfection every time. That's not just a motivational phrase, that's a mindset shift, a lifestyle, a way of approaching your day-to-day that separates the dreamers from the doers. Perfection is a trap. It's a fantasy we chase that keeps us stuck, because perfection says, wait until it's flawless. Progress says, start where you are and grow. And every time you choose progress, you gain momentum. You get stronger. You build confidence. But when you chase perfection, you hesitate, you overthink, you stall. And that hesitation robs you of your potential. People spend too much time trying to get it all figured out before they take the first step. They want the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect opportunity. But life doesn't work like that. The breakthrough doesn't come before the effort, it comes because of the effort. You don't get to skip the mess. You don't get to fast forward through the awkward phase, the learning curve, the trial and error. That's where growth lives. That's where character is built. Waiting on perfection means you'll still be waiting while someone else with less talent but more courage is out there making it happen. Progress is about showing up even when you're unsure. It's about putting in the reps. It's about saying, I don't have all the answers, but I'm willing to find them. Every great success story is layered with chapters of imperfection. rough drafts, failures, revisions, setbacks. But they kept moving. They kept adjusting. They kept learning. That's the key. You move forward even if the step is small. You take the shot even if your hands shake. You speak up even if your voice trembles. Because every imperfect action is a brick in the foundation of your purpose. Perfection is a myth. It's a moving target. And even if you hit it, it won't satisfy you because it was never real to begin with. There's always something you could have done better. There's always someone doing it differently. That's why chasing perfection leads to burnout, anxiety, comparison. But progress gives you fuel. It gives you something to celebrate. It says, I'm not where I used to be, and that's enough for today. It lets you build without pressure. It lets you win on your own terms. Too often, people disqualify themselves from greatness because they're measuring themselves against an ideal that doesn't exist. They say, I'm not ready, but readiness isn't a feeling, it's a decision. You decide to grow into the role. You decide to get better as you go. No one starts out fully polished. No one wakes up at the top. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't perfection. It's persistence. It's the willingness to look foolish for a little while. It's the grit to keep going when it's ugly. It's the patience to embrace the process. Progress is powerful because it builds belief. Each step forward reminds you that you're capable, that you're evolving, that you don't need to be perfect to make an impact. You just need to be consistent. You just need to be honest with yourself and keep showing up. You don't get strong by thinking about lifting weights. You get strong by doing the reps, one imperfect lift at a time. It's the same with your dreams, your relationships, your mindset. You build it brick by brick. There's freedom in choosing progress. There's grace in allowing yourself to be in process. You stop beating yourself up for not being further along, and you start appreciating how far you've come. You stop fearing failure because you realize it's part of forward motion. You stop holding your breath for the perfect moments, and you start creating moments through action. That's when things begin to shift. Not when you're flawless, but when you're faithful. Not when everything's lined up, but when you decide to line up your effort with your goals and keep moving. You are the solution to a problem. That's not just a feel-good statement, it's truth. There is something inside you that this world needs. A skill, a mindset, an experience, a voice, a story, and it's not random. You are equipped with it for a reason. The problem is too many people walk around thinking they're not valuable because they don't look like someone else or their path doesn't mirror the crowd. But your uniqueness is the very thing that makes you a solution. What you've been through, the way you think, how you feel things deeply, or solve things creatively, it's not an accident. That's the blueprint. Every day people are searching for answers, looking for help, needing encouragement, craving direction. And most of the time, the solution they need isn't found in perfection or prestige. It's found in someone who's real, someone who's walked through something and came out wiser, stronger, or more compassionate. That someone is you. Your voice might be the one that speaks peace into a chaotic moment. Your gift might be the one that unlocks opportunity for someone stuck. Your insight might be the thing that saves someone time, energy, pain. But if you don't recognize your own value, if you downplay your own experiences, you'll miss the impact you were born to make. Too often, people wait to feel ready before they show up and serve. They think, once I have more experience, once I'm more qualified, once I've got it all together. But the truth is, the problems you're called to solve usually don't wait for you to feel ready. They show up in your life and pull purpose out of you. You find yourself being the one others lean on. You find people coming to you for advice, for clarity, for help. That's not by accident. That's alignment. That's purpose doing what it does best, flowing through your life naturally. Being the solution doesn't mean you need to have all the answers. It just means you're willing to show up, willing to share what you've learned, willing to listen, willing to step into spaces that need what you bring. It's not about being loud or flashy or famous. Some of the biggest impact happens in quiet moments, in personal conversations, in the way you show up consistently when others don't. That's influence. That's leadership. That's power. There's something freeing about realizing you don't have to be like anyone else. You just have to be fully you. Your gifts were assigned to you for a reason. Your story carries weight, even the chapters you rather skip, especially those chapters, because those are the ones that shape your ability to empathize, to connect, to offer solutions that aren't textbook. They're lived, and people feel that. People respond to authenticity. They're drawn to what's real. You don't have to be perfect, just present. You don't have to fix everything, just make a difference where you are. When you start walking with the understanding that you're the solution to a problem, you stop hiding, you stop shrinking, you stop waiting for someone else to step up. Instead, you rise, you ask, what needs me today? You bring your ideas, your presence, your effort to the table, and understand that even if it feels small, it matters. Because solving one problem might open the door for something much bigger. Helping one person might change the trajectory of a life. Using your gift might light the fire for someone else to use theirs. You weren't put here by accident. You were placed here with purpose. And that purpose isn't buried in some distant future. It's in your hands, your heart, your voice right now. Recognizing that truth changes how you move. It gives your steps weight. It gives your days meaning. And it keeps you focused on what really matters. Serving, building, giving, creating, healing, solving. Waking up is proof you still have a mission. It's not just a routine act, it's a signal. The fact that you opened your eyes this morning means something. It means your story isn't finished. It means your purpose is still unfolding. It means there's still someone out there who needs what you've got. Every breath you take is evidence that you've still got work to do. On yourself, in the world, through your gifts, with your influence. Some people didn't get to wake up today, but you did, and that's not random. That's intentional. There's a mission tied to your life that only you can carry out, and it doesn't have to be some big dramatic calling to change the entire world. Sometimes it's simple. Sometimes your mission is to raise that child right, to speak life into someone when they're about to give up, to create something that inspires, to lead with integrity in a place where it's rare, to show what resilience looks like, to love people well. Your mission is layered. It grows as you grow. It evolves as you gain wisdom, but it never disappears as long as you have breath in your body. We often get caught up chasing status, chasing perfection, chasing moments that feel big enough to count. But the real mission is often found in the everyday, in how you treat people, in how you carry yourself when no one's watching, in how you keep going when it would be easier to quit. The mission is in the discipline, in the consistency, in the way you choose to rise again and again, no matter how many times life tries to push you down. You're not still here just to exist. You're here to move something forward, to build, to give, to grow, to change something. Maybe yourself, maybe the world around you. There are days when the mission feels unclear, when the weight is heavy, when the path is cloudy. That's part of the process. But confusion doesn't cancel purpose. Uncertainty doesn't erase calling. Just because you don't feel it doesn't mean it's not real. That's where faith steps in. That's where discipline steps in. That's where you wake up, put your feet on the floor, and remind yourself that as long as you're alive, your mission is alive too. Even if it's just one step today, even if it's just showing up with heart when you feel empty, that still counts. Easy. 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 Go on, and on with the podcast. You're not waking up just to clock in, pay bills, and repeat. You're waking up because something in the universe said you're still needed. Your presence still has value. Your effort still makes waves. Your perspective still has the power to shift something. And the beauty of it is, you don't have to see the full picture to be part of something meaningful. You just have to trust that your existence has impact beyond what you can see. Every conversation, every decision, every act of courage, every refusal to give up, those are all parts of your mission playing out in real time. The moment you begin to see each day as a chance to fulfill part of your assignment, everything shifts. You stop dreading the day and start respecting it. You stop waiting for life to be perfect and start honoring the fact that life is present. You begin to measure your worth not by what you have, but by what you're doing with what you have. You stop living by accident and start living with awareness. And that awareness brings fire. It brings focus. It brings urgency, not to rush, but to be intentional, to move with purpose, to stop wasting time pretending you don't matter when everything about your life says you do.